sport is about failure in a lot of ways because a lot of people fail much more than the people who succeed. So, in my journey as an athlete, I have lost more than I have won. Um, there are many players who've actually lost more in my career as a coach than who have won. But really, you're remembered for the wins and you're highlighted for the people whom you produced. And so it's an incredible journey where the positives are helping you stay up and motivated, but the losses are actually driving you down. And it's in this entire process, I think meditation or the very process of doing things without expectation and getting back to the process is something for me which meditation is, because you're sitting and the more calmer you are and the more not expecting results you are in meditation, then the magic actually happens rather than you being stiff about wanting something. So for me, that itself has been a lesson in life, because when I expected the least, the biggest results in my career came, whether it was as an athlete or as a coach. And I think for me to go back to the process is exactly what meditation is. And so the other day when I was there and we were talking about it, and I asked Daji this question, I said, Daji, the very few people who succeed in sport, because we look at champions and the medals which they win, but actually very few people actually win medals. So what happens about the people who don't win? And there's so much of negativity or things around. And Daji actually put this parallel up with spirituality, and that was so profound. So, Daji, I would really want to hear that about what you said very briefly when I was leaving the other day. I think that's something which I really want to hear back from you, because I've been earning to ask you this again. And for my benefit and also maybe some of the others, I think that's something which would be very helpful. But for me, I think meditation is when you do something without expectation. And in my life as a coach, as a player, and a person, I think the best results have come where you've actually done things without expecting anything. And that's been the biggest lesson in my life. And Pranam Daji, thank you. And maybe you could just explain to me this part. And the second question for Daji is, I see you incredible on the inner side, in the sense when I'm with you, there's a profound knowledge. There's also uh, your energy is so great, and you're able to give so much of openness to my heart. But also on the other side, you're so driven to do things, and the speed at which you want things to be done is unbelievable, because I'm thinking one badminton academy after the other in a few months, and before the first one is up, Daji is saying where are the next 10, and I've never done this kind of speed in my life, and he is doing this with one, with sport, with education, with nature, with spirituality, with centers, with people. I'm just amazed at how he, on the outer side, in the sense I can see the inner spiritual side is fine, but on the material side and in the living space, I think the hurry which he is in, I think the calmness, of course, is there, but the hurry which he is in to do things in the feverishness is something which I really need some guidance on. Raji, these are two questions from my side.
Gopi, do you remember what I said?
Yes,
If
Daji.
you remind me, I can pursue it because I
Daji,
forgot
you
what
said
I said.
about Krishna. You said Krishna spoke about spirituality. He said, in thousands, one will have the mind to actually be inclined
Sloka.
towards spirituality. And then in
Find the sloka.
thousands of them and lakhs of them, you will have one who will eventually attain me. And you said something like it's not whether they attain it or not, but the very characteristics get imbibed into them and they go on. And that is what the soul benefits from. I think that for me was I think was so profound, and it was like so deep in its understanding, because I thought sport was the biggest um, was a place where very few people succeed. But I think you just opened this whole thing, and today when I'm actually looking back, I said, we are not so bad. I think the people who were pursuing this on this side, and the success rate is less if you look at it from some perspective. But if you look at it from a growth perspective, I think each day you do, every drop of meditation you do, and every change which happens in your heart is actually taking you in your life and in your soul in this journey forever. This is what was my understanding, Daji. I don't know if I've
Yes,
understood
it's
the right
perfect.
way.
Perfect. Perfect, Gopi. Thank you for reminding the answer what we discussed. For all those who are not familiar with this particular context of sloka that I shared with Gopichandji, uh, is from Gita. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that there are millions and millions of people who are interested in God realization. And it is good that so many are interested, but it is unfortunate that very few individuals who have a lot of interest in God realization actually do something about it. And out of those few who does something about, they end up doing some practice or something. Most of them do the wrong way, some of them may do the right way. And even when you're doing things right way, but if your attitude is wrong, for example, how fast can I reach there? Or if you are restless about your journey, you may terminate it all of a sudden. And very few out of crores, maybe one might succeed in understanding the goal. And how many can even attain that goal is even a small number. Now, since Gopichand is worried about, concerned about those who are not making it to the top, reflects his nature. He's, as a coach, he is concerned. As a father or mother, he'd like to see that everyone succeeds, though only one will succeed. As a teacher also, when we are preparing the whole class for the examinations, only one will top, or maybe two will top together and the same rank. That's okay. But one who is on the last ladder, will he lose out or will she lose out? That failure also teaches us something. See, and life is always like that. We remember our failures more, and teachings that these failures grants us and opens up in front of us are even more profound than our success. But we should not crave for such failures because it's going to prepare us. But when we face the problems and we fail in accepting and even going through it, it's even a greater failure. First of all, that you failed, it's a big punishment. Second thing, that you didn't learn anything from this failure and gave up your efforts, it's even worse. See? So once I fail, once I have a problem and I fail miserably, I have to accept that yes, I have failed. Now what do I do to succeed? So the acceptance has to be first. Only then you can prepare yourself. If you remain under this confusion that though I tried, I failed because my teacher was envious, my teacher did not like me. No, don't blame your teacher for checking your papers. You say, oh, this teacher is very strict and he'll give me less marks. No, you did not do well. Accept that. Don't blame the teacher. If you go on blaming the teachers for being harsh on you, then you will keep on blaming and wait for the right teacher who will be softer. That's not going to happen. You will never learn anything when you try, when you keep blaming others. Gopi ji, what was your second question?
Daji, the speed at which you are in a hurry.
Oh,
Where does that come from?
this it's also comes from this attitude you have. No, you like to see it happens. Where people benefit from such a beautiful system. My idea is to propagate our heartfulness to every household. You see, so we teach relaxation in every school to children. So when children go back to home and they make their parents also relax, then they'll ask questions. How did you learn this? How are you able to make us relax so well? So that's a school connect. Similarly, the connection with the companies like Google or Amazon and people like yourself who are very successful in sports, they also are able to influence uh, the trainers under you, and these sports individuals also, when they meditate, they are able to remain calm even the challenging times, and they themselves become the ambassadors in their own community. That yes, you see how meditation helps. Even when I fail, it helps me remain calm and at peace. Similarly, when we teach meditation to teachers, how it reflects, how their vibrations are carried out. So we are trying to touch every strata of our society, not only at Indian level, national level, but we like to do that at a global level, say. And sooner we finish this, and I'm 66 years old now, and God knows how long one can carry on. And as you become older, your strength also lessens. Next time, I don't know in future if I will be able to sit for such a long time and converse. So sooner we finish our job, better it is.